You have your ticket? Oh, no problem. Just hit the subscription button below. Come on in. Hey guys, DFG here, guys. Just want to bring some information to your attention, just so that you're prepared for what's coming in the foreseeable future in regards to, again, covering up, folly, sins, of others by using the sins of others as a distraction to cover up certain other people. Okay, and let me get into this. March 3rd, 2nd or 3rd, somewhere around that time, you're going to see a documentary HBO is producing about Michael Jackson. I think it's called Leaving Neverland or something along that line. Well, interestingly enough, this movie is being supported by what I would call, I'm going to just be nice and call them just treacherous people like Gayle King with CBS Morning News, Oprah Winfrey, the renowned, backstabbing, double talking, sex trafficking, child sacrifice, criminal behavior cover-up artist. Yes, Oprah Winfrey is who I'm talking about. And let me give you a quick little teaser here for you, maybe Oprah Winfrey fans out there, especially the Me Too group and the Times Up group. I'm sorry, who want to see this sexual harassment stopped and women being violated, in the workplace. Now remember, when Harvey Weinstein was brought up on charges, it was Oprah Winfrey who pretty much, defended Harvey Weinstein, said that she considered Harvey Weinstein her friend. And if you want to go back and just Google up, what I'm saying, don't take my word for it, as I always say. Google up Harvey Weinstein, Oprah Winfrey, and you're going to see all kind of pictures of these two people, hanging out together, hugged up together, having drinks together, etc. So before you get into your feelings, I'm just telling you, don't be duped. Some of you guys are so easily misled. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you're like sheep for the slaughter. Blind leading the blind. So when I bring up Oprah Winfrey, what I'm saying? You can't play both sides of this issue. Well, you can, but you're going to come across as very disingenuous, and quite frankly, it's going to be hard to give you any kind of credit. But anyway, this Oprah Winfrey is jumping on this Never Leaving Neverland series. And of course, now she's on the attack in terms of, these things in regards to Michael Jackson. But yet, when confronted about these other behaviors of some of her cronies in Hollywood, who just so happen to be white, all of a sudden, Oprah has no comment. She doesn't have anything to say about that. You follow me? These guys are good guys. And how interesting. Have you guys ever heard the name of Ed Buck? Ed Buck. Look it up. Ed Buck, a contributor to Hillary Clinton, major political contributor to a lot of California politicians. I suspect Kamala Harris is a part of that group that he's contributed to and supported as well. Ed Buck, about a month or so ago, had a black homosexual male found dead in his apartment. Now, you might say, what's strange about that? People die all the time. Well, this is the second time that Ed Buck had a black male homosexual found dead of drug overdose in his apartment. So, of course, we know Ed Buck is, in court. Ed Buck is now having to get some lawyers because he's probably going to end up, needing a criminal defense attorney because he can go to jail. No. Ed Buck hadn't even had charges brought up against him. Yeah, you heard me right. He haven't even had charges brought up against him. Let's talk about Bryan Singer. Now, you may say, well, who is Bryan Singer? Well, think about the Oscars. Think about what particular movie probably took away more awards than any other movie. Black Panther had its share. Bohemian Rhapsody. That's a Bryan Singer movie. And you ask, well, who is Bryan Singer, Dale? Well, Bryan Singer is a producer-director. But more importantly, Bryan Singer, like singer, S-I-N-G-E-R, look it up, has been accused over and over and over with having sex with underage boys. Oh yeah, it's in the news. But it's so buried down at the bottom of the deck, you would never know it. Many, many accusations against this guy for doing the same thing that they're about to accuse Michael Jackson of doing in this upcoming documentary. So I just want to give you a forewarning about this so you're prepared. So when you see Michael Jackson's name dragged through the mud, a man who went to court, went to trial, stood up, faced his accusers, and was found by a jury of his peers not guilty, now in debt, they're going to drag it up, and Michael is going to become the pedophile of the year. Mark my word, when they finish with him. And Gayle King and Oprah Winfrey are on the bandwagon already promoting this horrible Michael Jackson. Listen out for it. It's coming. That's why I call them both backstabbing, diabolical, vicious animals. Because when Michael was alive, they didn't confront him with that. And both of them knew who Michael was. But, again, it's easy to attack the dead because, as they say, dead men tell no tales. Well, the live men, we can sure speak up for those who are dead. So you got Bryan Singer, billion-dollar producer, one of the richest men in Hollywood, Hollyweird or whatever the hell they call that place over there. Show you how much they think about this guy. Because if this was, and you guys know this, if this was anybody other than, and now this is where I know I'm probably going to, get into the deep water here. But if this was a black producer, major black producer, Quincy Jones, for example, who had been found out to be having sex with underage boys, anything that he would have produced would have not been put up for any kind of awards. Not why it was still being investigated, not why it was still, being looked in and accusations were still going on. No way. They would have parked that to the side. But not Bryan Singer. Show you how they really feel about these pedophiles. Now, Bryan Singer is alive and well. And he's probably going to get away with this. He's probably going to get away with it because nobody is talking about it. Just like Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft, you heard me talk about it in the video yesterday. How could this man be a multi-billionaire, go into a place twice, and never ask the question, by the way, where did these Asian women come from? These women who, you guys are having, as prostitutes in here. Where did y'all get them from? Of course he knew where they came from. And I'll say it again. If I grab a woman off the street, let me help you understand why this man is a rapist. Bob Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots. If I grabbed a woman off the street, grabbed a woman off the street, forced her against her will to have sex with another guy on the street, not on the street, but a buyer. And that buyer knows that this woman is having sex with him because I'm forcing her to have sex with him, and he goes on and pays me to have sex with her, he is a rapist. He is complicit. If you know that someone is being held against their will and you go and you engage them in that illegal activity, then you're complicit. That's like me. If my friend went to rob a bank and I drove him to that bank that he robbed, then guess what? I'm an accessory to that crime. And whatever charges he gets, if he kills somebody in that bank robbery, I'm going down for murder too. Now I think that's elementary logic. So yes, Bob Kraft is a rapist. And then you say, well, why are you bringing it up in relation to Michael Jackson? Because all of these are covers, guys. All this stuff is to bury, these things with Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. These things are now being pulled up front. Black lynchings all over again to hide white crime. Yes, I said it. Black lynchings to hide white crime. In other words, throw a black face out there, say a black guy did it, and then you let the white criminal just get on away with it. Not absolving R. Kelly. I'm not absolving Bill Cosby or any other, man of color who has committed atrocious acts. And, and they're dealing with their consequences. And they should be dealing with the consequences for their behavior. But what about Harvey Weinstein, Bryan Singer, Les Mouvals? What about these guys? Oh, let's not forget the Catholic Church. Let's not forget all these pedophile priests who are sexually molesting millions of boys and girls all over the world. Oh, and by the way, raping nuns too. You didn't know that, did you? Oh yeah, look it up. It's out there. So we ain't going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. Again, now you are smart people. You tell me. I mean, where are the white men going to jail for these crimes? That's what I'm asking you. And I know some of you are going to pretend like, that's complicated. Bull, you're a liar. You know exactly what's going on. If I don't give you any other credit, I'm going to give you credit for being intelligent. You know exactly what's going on. That's why you're quiet as church mouth, some of you. Ain't saying anything. Not saying a thing. You had these cardinals, Catholic cardinals, just recently saying that somehow or another the Catholic Church lost all of these records of the accusers children were abused in these Catholic churches. They lost the records of all those accusations. Now, I'm saying this on behalf because most of these kids who were abused in America anyway were white kids. So if you're white and you're listening to me, I mean, I'm pushing this on your behalf as well. This is what I call fair and balanced. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So, you should be on my side. You should be sharing this video. You should be pushing this. You should be saying, look, time out. Enough of this stuff. We're not going to let you guys get away with throwing these black faces out in front of us and pinning pedophiles and child molestation on them while the white guys go underground and continue this wicked behavior. I.e., as you saw in Florida with Bob Kraft, the former president of Citibank, another billionaire, and the CEO of Boston Fidelity, another billionaire who were caught in that sex ring. We're going to let all these guys go so they can continue to support human sex trafficking, which one day could end up with being somebody gets snatched and taken away. We're going to let those guys go. Because if you're not careful, that's what's happening here. While you're so busy looking at copper color, so-called black people, the white devils who are doing this. I'm talking about the white devils who are committing these atrocities. The devils. The black devils who are guilty of this, well, we can all see them because the mainstream media is pushing that agenda in your face. But what about the white devils who are doing this? And I'm calling them devils because of the wickedness of their heart, not because of the color of their skin. But they do happen to be white and getting away with it. So you can't leave that out of this conversation. What about them? So when you start looking at the Catholic Church and all of the pedophile and rape and killing of babies, you start looking at the Bryan Singers who have their current allegations against this guy, molesting young men, boys. Harvey Weinstein, Les Mouvals, Matt Lauer. Those names ring a bell? Ed Buck. All these guys. And there are many, many, many more. I could probably take another 30 minutes, 40 minutes of this video going down the list of names. And if you want me to, let me know in the comment section and I'll give you a list of names. Robert Kraft. Getting away with it. Laughing at you. By saying they're falling for the okey-dokey. We got a problem. Go get a nigga. Put him up there. That'll get everybody all lathered up. And so I'm going to say to you guys right now, when that documentary comes out on Michael Jackson from HBO, you guys ought to turn that foolishness off. You ought to just walk away and say, no, bullshit. I want to see a documentary, just like I saw one on Bill Cosby, one on R. Kelly, now on Michael Jackson. I want to see one on Harvey Weinstein. I want to see one on Jeffrey Epstein. I want to see one on Les Mouvals. I want to see one on Bryan Singer. I want to see one on the Catholic Church. Let's get that on life.